As an amateur athlete, I wanted to know what my recovery time is like and how fit I am physically.
Christian was also told to rest before undergoing the test. He first has to do 3 sprints to see how fit he is. After all, soccer players need to be fast.
Come on, you can do better than that.
He then begins a regular training session. 90 minutes of dribbling and passing, all brief, fast movements. It's quite a different form of exercise to cycling.
When you look at what happens during football, you can see there are a lot of fast sprints and stops that lead to inflammatory processes, which cause tiny injuries in the muscles. So we'll need to stimulate other processes to aid recovery.
Both athletes try out various recovery methods during the test. First, mountain biker Kim spends time pedaling slowly after training. Christian, meanwhile, jogs gently for 15 minutes. Both of these cooling down methods are known to be beneficial. But could a fascia roll, for example, be more effective? On the second day, both athletes spend 20 minutes massaging their muscles after training.
It's a technique that I often use to help me recover after training. I like the black roll. It's been my daily companion for years.
Kim is also used to doing massage training with a fascia roll or black roll.
After a hard training session, it's quite painful at first. But if you do it a few days in a row, it gets better.
After the final training, they go for the third method, an ice bath. It's 28 degrees Celsius outside. The water is just 12 degrees. It's the first time Christian has tried this out.
With this hot weather, it's not bad.
It's Kim's first time too.
Wow, it's cold.
The cold water causes all the blood vessels to constrict and then dilate again afterwards, helping to repair tiny tears in the muscles more quickly. The next day, the pair get their results. Regardless of what type of sport you do, it always varies from one individual to another as to which recovery method helps best. The results for Kim and Christian are similar. Pedaling or jogging slowly proved to be the least effective.
So, we've got your results.
So Kim, all 3 recovery methods helped you, but the fascia roll was most effective.
The ice bath felt better, but the fascia roll would have been my second favourite.
Christian, 2 of the methods worked on you, but the ice bath offered the best result in terms of your body's recovery.
Not bad.
Did you expect that?
Yeah, that was my impression too.
Christian's going to go out and purchase a water tub, while Kim can stick with the more convenient fascia roll.
Water plays a hugely important role in regenerating the body and supporting vital functions. But drinking too much of it isn't good either. More than 3 litres of water a day washes vital salts out of our body. In extreme cases, the medical profession talks of water poisoning, a condition that can be fatal. What else should we know about our water intake?
Drinking between 1.5 and 2 litres of liquid a day is ideal. The only question is, before a meal, during a meal, or spread out over the day. Let's start in the morning. Many swear by a large glass of water before breakfast. It's supposed to get digestion going. Doctors call it the gastrocolic reflex.
It's a very natural reflex. You can do whatever you want, whether you jump-start it in the morning or not, by drinking something. There are no general recommendations.
Because sooner or later, the intestine gets going by itself, even without a glass of water. But don't we dry out when we sleep and urgently need fluids in the morning when we wake up? In fact, our bodies are masters at conserving water. They can recycle fluids while sleeping. This works particularly well the longer and deeper we sleep, researchers in the US have discovered, because then our bodies release hormones that help to recycle water. That's why we don't usually have to pee at night. If, on the other hand, we sleep too little, for example, less than 6 hours, we don't release so many hormones, and the recycling process doesn't work so well. That's when we dry out and feel knocked out in the morning.
That's why I advise those who sleep too little at night to compensate straight away for the greater loss of fluid. And anyway, people should drink a large part of their daily requirement in the morning in order to prevent dehydration causing a headache or even a migraine.
And how about drinking while eating? Many believe we shouldn't do it because it dilutes stomach acid. In fact, there's no evidence that drinking is bad for digestion.
It doesn't matter whether I drink something or not. That works with stomach acid. I don't have to worry that stomach acid is somehow diluted when I drink something. On the contrary, if anything, digestion is stimulated.
So, there's absolutely nothing wrong with drinking while eating. However, a glass of water is not absolutely necessary for digestion, because here too, our bodies use a recycling trick. Our intestines filter almost all water out again at the bottom of the track, at the end of digestion. Regardless of whether it comes from food or what we've drunk, the fluid enters the system and can be used again for digestion. In all, our intestines recycle 5 to 6 liters this way every day. Even if we don't need it, drinking while eating can be very helpful, especially today with so much obesity and unhealthy food.
So we recommend that you drink a glass of water with your main meals, because it promotes the satiation process and prevents the absorption of too much energy.
But no matter when we drink, whatever we drink should have as little sugar as possible. Only then can it help with weight loss. Why do we have to worry about when to drink at all? Doesn't our sense of thirst tell us what to do by itself? Not necessarily, say medical professionals, because we don't always get the right signals at the right time.
In our brain, the sensory regions for hunger and thirst are close together. That's why it's so difficult for us to clearly differentiate between hunger, thirst, and appetite in everyday life. So if you think you have to eat a snack, you should first have a glass of water. Most of the time, a snack is then unnecessary.
Starting in our mid-20s, we very slowly lose our sense of thirst. So much so that in old age, we can no longer rely on it. Instead of thirst, we then get a dry mouth, headaches, or have difficulty concentrating. That's why our regular drinking habits make sense, whether after just waking up, with meals, or in between. The main thing is, we get enough water regularly.
That wraps up this edition of In Good Shape. Join us again next week. Until then, it's goodbye and take care.
Nothing like a breath of sea air to calm the soul.
Usedom is an island of superlatives. It has Germany's longest beach, some 1,900 hours of sunshine a year.
The charm of a bygone era on the magical Baltic Sea island of Usedom.
Check in 30 minutes on DW. In December 2019, the European Council's new president, Charles Michel, embarked on a groundbreaking mission.
I have a clear goal to make Europe the first climate-neutral continent on the planet by 2050.
But not all EU member states support it, and some persuasion is required.
It's showtime.
A surprising glimpse into the very heart of power.
The House of Cards.
Who will win the game of diplomatic poker? Intrigue, power plays, and alliances. Behind the scenes of the EU Climate Summit starts August 5th on DW.
In the early hours of the morning, I cannot sleep because your voice is in my head. In the small, small hours, in these hours there's no sleep. There's no peace, no love left for the wicked. 'Cause I know your work is never, ever done. I can't sleep, I can't sleep, I can't sleep.
This is DW News live from Berlin. Wildfires rage across Western Canada. Rescuers search for missing in towns forced to evacuate. Lightning has sparked several blazes, fueled further by a record-breaking heat wave. Also coming up, the last US and NATO troops leave Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan, a departure that leaves many Afghans with dread as the Taliban wait in the wings. And drama and disappointment. Spain secures their place in the Euro 2020 semi-finals with a penalty shootout victory over Switzerland. They'll face Italy next after their win over Belgium. I'm Rebecca Ritters. Welcome to the program. In Canada, military aircraft have been mobilised to help evacuate towns and fight more than 130 wildfires tearing across the west of the country. A record-setting heat wave has fuelled the fires. Rescuers are now searching for missing people in Lytton, British Columbia. Roughly 1,000 people fled the town, which was almost entirely wiped out. For many, it was a chaotic escape.
With just minutes to spare, residents of Lytton escaped through thick smoke and ash. The fire front moved so quickly, they had almost no warning before their town was engulfed in flames.
Alright, so it looks like the fire went out over the mountain and it's about to get everyone that's stuck on that side of the mountain. Me and my dog just got out, but we could see the house literally in fire as I was leaving. I didn't even have time to lock the door.
The blaze ignited a day after the town sweltered through almost 50 degrees Celsius, breaking Canada's temperature record. Emergency workers are searching for missing residents as the smouldering town remains unsafe to enter.
Today, our thoughts are mostly with families that are grieving, that are facing terrible loss. But of course, we also have to reflect on the fact that extreme weather events are getting more frequent, and climate change has a significant role to play in that.
The unprecedented heat wave and wildfires have left the country reeling, and worried this will become the new normal.
Even if the world wasn't warming, the Pacific Northwest and Southwest Canada would be having an exceptional heat wave right now, but it wouldn't be quite as severe. It wouldn't be blowing past existing records, or if it did, it would not be blowing past them by very much. And so climate change lets heat waves be much more severe than they otherwise would have been in a world without climate change.
More than 100 fires are still burning across Western Canada, threatening other towns. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has convened an emergency response group and promises to help communities recover.
For more, let's speak with Renee Bernard. She's a reporter at radio station News 1130 out of Vancouver. She joined us now on the phone. Renee, thanks for joining us. Can you describe for us what happened in Lytton?
Well, like you heard in that report, right, it was so sudden. It comes after incredible heat, like close to 50 degrees, which is unheard of in Western Canada. And from, reports from the folks in town, it just took minutes. It was the early evening, and before you knew it, they saw the smoke, and then they could feel the heat. And then some reports said the flames were traveling like 30 kilometers an hour, just from one end of the town to the next. And they didn't really have a lot of time to respond. You can even see some footage of some cars at an intersection, and they literally don't know where to turn. Do they turn left? Do they turn right? It was just a chaotic scene.
And we've also heard that people are now not being allowed into the town for obvious reasons. How has your station been reporting this disaster?
Well, like a lot of other stations, so we've dispatched our reporter to a town where people are congregating after they have been evacuated. So there's emergency centers where you're supposed to check in as an evacuee to let people know, yes, you're alive, but now you need Red Cross's assistance, and you need a home, and you need toiletries and that kind of thing. So there's a various towns that have been set up such as that. So we've dispatched our reporter to locations like that so she can actually talk to survivors and people who managed to escape that day.
Of course, this fire comes amid a record-breaking heat wave. We've all been reporting on it over the last days and weeks. Western Canada's been experiencing. It's still ongoing. What's it like there at the moment?
It's a little bit better. Like I can tell you personally, it was very difficult to sleep in my apartment. Again, this is Vancouver. Like in mid-20s is considered really hot in Vancouver. We're talking upper 30s, and it was unbearable for our homes. People had to sleep in hotel rooms. People had to sleep where there was air conditioning. Most people, like myself, don't have air conditioning, and a lot of people don't even have fans and that kind of thing. So we're just starting now to feel a little bit more comfortable. It's now in the mid-20s, I think. And another thing, too, was that yes, we had a heat wave, but the heat didn't go away overnight. So again, on the West Coast, we're used to having very comfortable evenings. It might be hot, a little hot in the daytime, but it will cool off completely at night. Well, this did not happen this time around. It was hot all 24 hours a day, and it was really, really hard to escape.
And it's, only the beginning of summer. Renee Bernard at News 1130 out of Vancouver, Canada. Thanks so much for your time. Stay safe.
You're welcome.
Well, let's take a look now at some of the other stories making news around the world. Authorities in Japan say 2 bodies have been found after a powerful mudslide and flood swept through the seaside town of Atami, southwest of Tokyo. The military has been deployed to look for around 20 other people who are still missing. Japan has been hit by days of torrential rain. Search and rescue teams have pulled more bodies from the rubble of the collapsed high-rise in Florida. One of the victims is the 7-year-old daughter of a Miami firefighter. The recovery brings the death toll to 22. Officials have evacuated another building in the area over fears that it is also unsafe. Residents were given just 2 hours to leave.